Sorry, I was muted. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome once again to our one of our specials today, our March Madness special, where we're going to talk about all things NCAA college basketball tournament, March Madness, coming to you live from Titletown, USA, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am your hostess with the mostest. I am Kylan Watson. Yes, yes. Matt, and Andre will be in shortly. Rory might even stop by. But right now, I'm rocking out a little solo for a little bit. But yeah, we got some hot topics related to March Madness. And I'll just get it started right now. All right, guys. So the question is, did the NCAA get it right with the teams the committee selected? I don't think they did. I don't think they got it right. I think that there was there was one glaring issue when it came to the tournament this year. And that was Oklahoma. To me, Oklahoma didn't deserve to be in, and today they got eliminated by the University of Rhode Island. Sorry to anybody who actually thought Oklahoma was going far. I mean, you really don't have to look no further than Oklahoma's record in the month of March and February. I mean, they hadn't won a game since the calendar turned from December. So they've been horrible since January. And the fact that they got in this year, the fact that the committee selected Oklahoma when they didn't deserve to be in my humble opinion, at Kyler W. Watson for you Oklahoma Sooner fans that want to tell me how wrong I am. I didn't think that they deserved to be in the tournament. So, when they lost today, I had picked against them in my bracket anyway. But when they lost today, they just record wise, they just didn't deserve to be in the tournament. Like other than having Trae Young, there was really no reason for them to be in the tournament. I guess the committee, lost out on some star power by, record wise LSU and University of Washington not being in last year when they had Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz, or the year before that, I should say. It's understandable why the committee will want a star power like Trae Young in the game. It's completely understandable why you will want them there. But there's certain things that you shouldn't be doing. Like just because a team has a superstar and a lottery pick and a future first round NBA draft pick doesn't mean that they should be in the NCAA tournament over somebody way serving like a UCLA. I'm not a UCLA, my bad. Like a Louisville, a USC, and we know why Louisville and USC aren't in the tournament this year. FBI investigation. We all know why they're not in the tournament this year. But you know, anybody, any other team, even Louisville or USC, Penn State, Temple, somebody else would have been a better Notre Dame. Notre Dame deserved to get in it. Somebody else would have been a better pick than Oklahoma. So to answer the question, no, the committee didn't get it right. Should not have put Oklahoma in there. Go ahead, Andre, reintroduce yourself and then answer the question. Did the NCAA get it right with the teams they selected for March Madness? Go ahead. Andre, you there? Dre. Oh. All right, well, Andre gets that fixed. For while we wait on Andre, did come in. I don't know what's wrong with him, but Go right along. To the second question. What teams were snubbed and who would you take out? So I just answered this question a little bit. I would take out Oklahoma, put in Notre Dame. Uh, that's about it. I would take out Oklahoma and put in Notre Dame because I think Notre Dame had a better record. They had beaten better teams. They had a better RPI. I would have picked Notre Dame over Louisville and USC. I mean, the committee had an easy out. They should have just selected Notre Dame and left Oklahoma out. Sure, you would have missed out on that star power of not having Trae Young in there, but there's just certain things that you should take over that, and the thing to take is they should have selected Notre Dame. They could have selected USC. I mean, to my knowledge, I know USC has been connected with it, but it's not as bad as Louisville, where they actually had to take banners down and stuff like that. They could have selected anybody else, but Oklahoma, in my opinion. Uh, they could have selected St. Mary's. I think it's a travesty that St. Mary's isn't in. I think they have a 24-6 or something record. They have a really good record, and the fact that they're not in it is a shame. What other team? They could have selected, like I said, anybody but Oklahoma. And the teams I would have taken out, I would have taken out Oklahoma. I would have taken out UCLA because I think USC should have been in it. I would have taken out so many other teams other than that. But UCLA lost, but still they shouldn't have been in the last four in. I think that either should have gone to USC, Notre Dame, somebody else. We're gonna try Andre again. Trey, you there? Trey, you there? Hold on, y'all. I don't know what's going on with Andre. Let me message him and see what's going on. Yeah, I don't know if Andre's having technical difficulties or something, but he's here. He's not speaking. I don't know. Maybe he's in the restroom or something. But yeah. So I would have St. Mary's. I think what were the other teams? Notre Dame, St. Mary's. A couple of teams that could have been in there over Oklahoma. But I'm just gonna pick on St. Mary's and Notre Dame because they're basketball programs that aren't connected so far with the FBI investigation, and hopefully we'll be able to stay clean. Even though I don't really like Notre Dame football, I like Notre Dame basketball, and I think that they're good peoples. So yeah, so I think that they definitely could have picked St. Mary's and Notre Dame. I'm missing out who the other two teams should have been that should have gotten in, or Oklahoma. But Oklahoma didn't deserve to be a 10 seed. They didn't deserve to be in the tournament, and they kind of proved that with the way they performed. And excuse me, y'all. Like I said, to you Oklahoma Sooner fans, at Kylan W. Watson, if you want to debate that. But I don't think you really want to debate that after how y'all lost to the Rhode Island. Like y'all had a lead. It was just a repeat. It's like your football program. They had a lead, blew it. Like it's just like the football program. Just like the football program. Dynamic superstar held down by the fact that there really is no talent on that team, whether it's Baker Mayfield or Trae Young, held down by not having talent around them, not having talent built around them, and it's just ridiculous. So yeah, moving right along, unless Andre's ready. Dre, you there? I don't know what's going on with him. All right. To our next question. So will a 1 seed ever be beaten by a 16 seed. I'm gonna say a big no on that for right now. Because in order for you to be the 1 seed, it would have to be the perfect storm. It would have to be a really, really good team that could take out a. Let's just go over the 1 seeds. 1 seeds are Villanova, Xavier, uh, Kansas, and Virginia, right? And Virginia is the overall number 1 seed, so they're the strongest number 1 seed. And I guess you would say the weakest number 1 seeds of the number 1 seeds I've seen so far this weekend. And this is only the first day of the tournament, so Virginia is yet to play, and so is Xavier. But Villanova right now, because they're destroying Radnor, they're looking like the strongest number 1 seed until I see Villanova. I mean, until I see Virginia. But and this is not to be a homer. This is me just going by the eye test and just the games that they're playing. And right now they're destroying Radnor. But there is something. A 16 seed has to play a perfect game, and then they have to be a team that's built to beat a number 1 seed like a Virginia, like a Villanova, like a Kansas, like a Xavier. In order to beat teams like that, you got to be able to rebound. You got to be able to play very, very good defense and not give them anything, like stifling defense. Like you got to be able to play a combo of Virginia and Villanova stifling defense, right? And then outside of that, you got to be able to score. You got to be able to keep up with these number 1 seeds. So you got to be able to score. You got to have a dynamic superstar. And I don't know how many superstar athletes, other than Steph Curry, went to I won't say a mid-major, basically a mid-major school, a school where, you're not going to be on TV a lot, except for during the tournament and stuff like that. Steph Curry is really the only one who I can remember in recent memory that went to a mid-major, got their fame based off of the limited TV time they had, and then just taking advantage of their opportunities in March Madness during the tournament. So definitely you gotta be as a 16 seed, you gotta have the offensive firepower to keep up with a number 1 seed, and you have to have the defensive prowess to stop and shut down all of their main superstars. You have to do a lot to beat a number 1 seed. You gotta stay consistent. You gotta just be able to hold your own, and I don't see too many 16 seeds that can do that. Like Radnor right now, the score is 58. Villanova has 58, and Radnor has 29. Like they're not able to keep up. Most number 16 seeds can't handle that overwhelming firepower that Villanova, Kansas, Xavier, and Virginia had, right? And like I said, you need a superstar, more than one superstar, in order to beat these number 1 seeds. But not only that, like I said, you need to have good coaching. And I'm not saying that they don't have good coaching, but you gotta have a veteran coach who can coach and motivate. You gotta have like a Doug Peterson type of coach, a coach that willing to take risks, willing to do different things to help his team succeed. You gotta have a coach like that, and you gotta have that firepower. Like I said, you gotta have good bench scoring. You gotta have real consistent, like I said, real consistent players, a consistent coach, in order to beat a
Yo, Calvin.
number 1 seed. Oh, there he is. What's up, Dre? Hold on. Let me finish. Oh, it's okay. Let me finish my point, and then you can go on the previous questions that I just said. You can answer the first 3. All right. So yeah, you gotta have like a Doug Peterson type of coach that'll take risks, that's willing to change it up. You gotta have a superstar. I mean, you gotta be able to match the Jalen Brunsons, the Devontae Grahams, the Trevor Blewitts. That's Xavier's superstar. You gotta be able to. Virginia doesn't really have a superstar. They just have really good players. They had Philly-born DeAndre Hunter, but unfortunately he broke his wrist or he broke his hand, so he's out this tournament, this college tournament. So, but you got to have a superstar, you got to have a coach, you got to have consistent bench play. Like you can't be a Radner right now. Radner is losing by 29 points. Like it's 58-29 right now. They should just wave the white flag and end this game and give it to Villanova. But that's just what it is. In order to compete with the Virginias, the Xaviers, the Kansases, and the Novas, you gotta have, like I said, consistent bench play, a consistent offense, and a superstar, Steph Curry type, somebody who you can recruit and can just sell on your program. That's what you gotta have to beat these number one seeds. So to answer the question, I don't think it's ever gonna happen in our lifetime that you'll see a number 16 seed be the number one seed. I mean, never say never because you do have the Appalachian states of the world, but I don't think you're ever going to see it. Go ahead, Andre. Reintroduce yourself and then answer the first three questions. Go ahead. Dre, you there?
I started talking. I ain't even hit the mute button. Rookie mistake. All right, what's up, everybody? Dre Terry here. Just excited to talk about NCAA basketball, number one sport in the world. But people argue that all day. They'll say no. Football is number one, and they ain't talking about American football. They're talking about soccer. But that's always debatable. First question: did the committee? Hold on, I'm sorry. I just had the question. What the heck? All right. Did the NCAA get it right with the teams the committee selected? I'm like Colin. I disagree that I agree with him. I disagree that Oklahoma should have made it. We know why they made it. Trae Young. Like, listen, everybody, every league you go to, I don't care if it's from golf to hockey, everybody's promoting scoring. So that's why they got in there. Because people want to see people score. Nobody wants to watch a defensive game. Unless like you really into the sport. That's why they got picked, basically. And the second question, what teams were snubbed and who would you take out? What teams are snubbed? All right, listen. Take it easy when I say this one. Yeah, I know Colin Parker like, what? I feel like Temple was snubbed. But I mean, I know they don't have the best record, but I still feel like they should still be there. Maybe I'm just biased, being from Philly, and I always got love for the teams that come from Philly. I feel like they got snubbed. I don't know, like I would like to see too one of the HBCU teams make it. Like a Morehouse team or I don't know a Howard team. That's what I would like to see. But maybe I'm just coming from a radical perspective right there on that one. Will a 1 seed ever be beaten by a 16 seed? Yeah, it's going to happen. It's just what team is going to show up that day? Because there's only one. All you got to do is beat one game. It's not like you got to beat a series of games. All you have to do is beat them one game, and like anything can happen. What's going to happen is the bench players, the starters, the coach are all going to have to be on one page and giving everything to beat that number one seed. Because it is going to be very hard for them to beat the number one seed. You just don't go out and beat Michael Jordan. No, that doesn't just happen. Like you got to give everything. Like you leave everything out on the court. There's a saying in acting. If you leave the stage and you're not tired, you didn't do your job. The same is true in sports. If you didn't leave everything out on that field, out on that court, whatever arena you're in, you didn't do your job. Like you should be exhausted. You should be to the point where you don't want to sign autographs or you don't want to do anything. You don't want to hang out with people. You just want to rest and relax and just and process what happened. But I'm not telling. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling athletes to you know to be disrespectful to fans and the fans. To be disrespectful to fans and not sign autographs. You should always sign autographs because if it weren't for the fans, you wouldn't be where you were. And I'm one of those fans. I would definitely want an autograph or a picture with you. But I understand there's a limit to all those things. But yeah, I think a 16 seed will be the number one seed. Will happen a lot? Hell no. I'm sorry. I mean, you say it like that, but listen, I gotta keep it real with y'all. Like it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be like the biggest news ever. And then people will talk about it and say, who's going to be the next one to do it? Maybe this team will do it. They're going to overhype it, and they're going to come back to reality. But it's definitely going to happen.
All right, so moving right along to the next question. All right, Andre, who's the best team in the tournament right now? Go ahead.
Villanova, hands down. I guess I'm still biased. I can't, I can't help. I like what I see with that team, man. Every time I see that team, I feel like I see a team. Other teams, I'll see certain elements of the team. But I just love what Jay Wright has built there, and I feel like he's built that for years to come. And, it's not going to stop until he wants to stop the program, or he wants to move on, and maybe he goes to the NBA or whatever he does. He just wants to retire. But yeah, I feel like Villanova is the best.
Usually, I'd be all down to go for a Philly team, but can't do it this time. I gotta go with Virginia because I mentioned on.
You like Virginia? I think this is like the second time you brought them up on the podcast.
Yeah, I was about to say like Virginia. I like Virginia because they're. I like Villanova. Don't get me wrong. Villanova is also a team that does this, but Virginia. I don't know. Maybe I all of a sudden got an influx of ACC in my blood or something. But Virginia is. I think I brought this up on this podcast before. Even though they lost our Philly-born player, Virginia is perfect, man. Whenever I watch Virginia play basketball, they play perfectly. They play a very San Antonio Spurs style of basketball. Now, what do I mean by that? They play a perfect style of basketball. Their defense, they're a defensive team.
May I remind you, San Antonio doesn't win all the time.
Very true, but this is that. Here's what I mean by that, right? Their defense leads to their offense, so they play very perfect, very I won't say perfect, but very very good and consistent defense, right? And we all know the saying: defense wins championships, right? So, and Virginia has played stifling defense. They've stifled teams in the one of the deepest conferences in college basketball, the ACC. Right? They stifled UNC, a team that is the current champions. They've stifled UNC. They've stifled Duke. They've stifled most teams in the NCAA. Right? And the only team to beat them, if I remember, who was it? It was another team in the ACC. Can't put my finger on it right now. But they play, like I said, a perfect style of defense. They actually have offense now. Last year, the years before that, it used to be a defensive team, but now they have consistent defense and consistent offense. They're good on both sides of the ball. Now, Villanova, even though I love Villanova, Villanova is not perfect, right? They rely too much on the threes for me. You live by the three and die by the three. That's what killed them last year. That's why they lost early. They play more consistent defense now. But Villanova's like the second best one seed. But the top one seed is Virginia because, like I said, they play perfectly on both sides of the ball. Now, will that hold up? We'll see. They haven't played yet. They play later on tonight. But Virginia, to me, is the best team in this tournament. Now, I should say it's UNC because you got to, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and they're the defending champs. But no, it's Virginia. Go ahead, Andre. You're free to get back in here and tell me why I'm wrong.
Uh, listen, I understand when you look at Virginia, you see their defense turning the offense, and Villanova does shoot a lot of threes, but they make a lot of threes as well. And if I could relate this to the NBA, I know Golden State shoots a lot of threes, but they make a lot of threes. And they're the team on top right now. And like I don't care if they didn't win every year. They got the most championships recently. So I think Villanova's gonna pull it out, man. I really do. I think they have a better defense to me than Virginia. Now you tell me why I'm wrong.
Very simple. Listen, Villanova shoots very good threes, but the one knock on Villanova is the one knock on a lot of these teams. They not big enough. Now let's be real. Villanova's in a tough bracket.
It ain't about how big you are. It's how much heart you got.
Listen. You can have as much heart as you want to, but But you just said the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors before Kevin Durant came were getting out rebounded a lot. I know you remember. That's the reason they lost that fight to LeBron. All them offensive rebounds they allow. Villanova allows way too many offensive rebounds. They allow now. It doesn't matter because right now they're playing Radnor and they're blowing them out. But it's gonna matter when they have to play the 2 seed in their division. And let me remember who that 2 seed is by looking at my bracket. By looking at our brackets. By the way,
what are you looking at, Calvin?
We're doing our crossover podcast bracket. Right now, Matt's in the lead. He doesn't deserve to be in the lead, but he's in the lead. Should be me, but it's whatever. I'm looking at our brackets to see who the number 2 seed is in Villanova's division. All right, so they're in a bracket with Texas Tech. That's the 3 seed. West Virginia, Wichita State, Arkansas. Oh, Purdue. That's a tough team. Now, Purdue is the toughest number 2 seed in the tournament, right? They're the anti-Villanova, a team that's big and can shoot threes. So Villanova is a great, like I said, great team. But for me, they're two. This is what I'll say, right? Villanova is great at shooting threes. They have Jalen Brunson. They have a superstar this year. It's not like they're gonna totally get destroyed. But the one thing about Villanova is this, man. When they're just like last year, when they're on, and when they're not, they're not. And consistently this year, Villanova's had games when they're on and games when they're off. And I know that's every team, but Villanova just isn't consistent enough with hitting their threes for me to be all like, yeah, Villanova's the strongest team. I mean, listen, they're the second strongest number 1 seed, but that's when they're hitting their shots. When they're not hitting their shots, it gets a little dicey for me. And like I've watched college basketball this season. The one thing I know about Villanova is they're a great team. They can play great defense, but when they're missing their shots, it's a little dicey for them. 75-42. See, their weaknesses are going to show up against a Radford. But once they start playing West Virginia, Wichita State, and other teams, it's going to show up. They might have to play Alabama. When they play Alabama, they have to play superstars, teams that have superstars. I don't know, man. I like Villanova. I picked them to be in their Final Four, so it sounds a little counterintuitive to my bracket. But I'm being open and honest. Villanova is not what a lot of y'all think they are, man. They're not consistent. They don't have a rebounder. They're consistent defensively, but offensively, it comes and goes, man. I know a lot of people say you live by the three, you die by the three. But Villanova has died way too much by the three this year. And there's a lot of teams like that in this tournament. But Villanova's the one that's the number one seed. I'm just saying that. You have the floor to respond. Go ahead.
Listen, they are who we thought they are. And defense wins championships. So their defense is going to reign out. I'm a little scared for their offense, but I think they're going to pull it together. When it's on the line, I know Jay Wright is going to get in their ears. He's going to tell Jalen Brunson what to do. He's going to tell his teammates what to do, and they're going to lead by example. It's just that simple, man. I got faith in them. I got faith in Jay Wright. That's really where my faith lies. I don't even worry about the other players because I feel like the coach is a better coach than the coach in Virginia.
Listen, I hope you're right. I hope you're right because I got the Villanova going all the way to the Final Four, and I need them to be right. I need to beat Matt. So I hope I'm right, and I hope you're right because I got them going to the Final Four. But I'm just sensing like I sensed it last year, and they were out by Saturday. I'm sensing it again this year, and I hope I'm wrong. Because I got two brackets. Both of them have them in the Final Four. One has them winning it all. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm feeling it. I'm a little concerned for their offense when they have to play somebody that's like really, really good, like a Purdue, a team they don't really see often because they're a Big Ten team in comparison to a Big East team, or the team that they'll have to see next week or Saturday between Virginia Tech and Villanova tonight, and Alabama tonight, and they have to see Alabama as an SEC team. They're not used to playing SEC teams, or it's an ACC team. They're not used to playing ACC teams. It's different. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm right for because I want them to go all the way to the Final Four. But I don't know. I'm sensing another early tournament for Villanova, man. I don't know. But I hope they get their offense together. I hope they become consistent offensively. I hope their offensive consistency matches their defensive consistency, which means they're a balanced team because they're not a balanced team right now to me. They don't make enough three. They don't have a consistent enough offense for me. But that's just me. All right. Your Final Four picks. Go ahead, Andre.
All right, so this ain't gonna be hard. We're gonna go Villanova, and this is in no certain order. We're gonna go Villanova. I'm gonna go North Carolina. I'm gonna go Duke, and dun, 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 dun. Am I gonna put Virginia in? No, I'm saying they're gonna get upset. I'm gonna put Purdue up in there.
This would be no surprise. I have Virginia, Villanova, UNC, and I believe Kansas. I believe I have Kansas in there. So, and my championship game is Virginia and Villanova, and yeah, that's all you're getting out of me. We'll talk about our championship games and everything else on Saturday. But that's our Final Four picks. Moving right along. So let's get a debate started, Andre. Who's the best basketball? Who's the best player in college basketball? Go ahead.
Trae Young. To me, I mean, like, I guess if you want to say, so when you say best player, are you talking about all around, or just like he's gonna go number one in the draft, like hands down?
All around, dog. Best college basketball player, all around.
Yeah, I'm still gonna have to say Trae Young. I mean, I know he doesn't play defense, but I feel like he brings so much to a team. But I don't know. He is a jacker. Like he just like he can't do that in the NBA. That's for sure. Like he can't just come up and just pull up. Like it's not. You're not like light years ahead of your competition in the NBA. Like people like you got Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry could be part of that. But yeah, I still have to go with Trae Young.
You see, I gotta go the opposite of you, man. I'm surprised too because you talk so much about Villanova, man. I gotta go because there's a couple people better than him, in my opinion. But the top two, because it's a tie for me, I think it's Jalen Brunson. I think he's a better overall point guard, a better shooter, and a better playmaker than Trae Young. Even though Trae Young did lead the league in assistant points, or not the league, the NCAA in assistant points. I got to give it to Jalen Brunson. And then I got to give it to somebody else who's also a point guard. I got to give it to Colin Sexton, man, at Alabama. You're going to see him tonight. But I got to go with Jalen Brunson and Colin Sexton. It's a tie for me, you know. Earlier this year, I would have said it's Trae Young. But then Trae Young hit a wall. You know, he came back today in a big game. But, you know, I like him. I like the fact that, like I said, we talked about him on the show
He's a
before.
freshman doing it.
Right.
He's a freshman.
So is Colin Sexton. That's why I put him up there. Colin Sexton is a freshman at Alabama.
I hear you. But I think Trae Young better than him.
Well, listen, Colin Sexton is better than, and Jalen Brunson are better than him to me because both of them have a more consistent. Listen, hear what I say clearly. A more consistent jump shot than him. They're better playmakers now.
What about DeAndre?
Like I said, of them, who?
DeAndre Ayton.
He's not there, man. He didn't play enough games.
So you how you gonna go technical with me? And so if I don't play as many games you do, I'm not on your level.
No, I mean he's a great player. I'm just saying he didn't play enough games. Listen, it's not he has great talent. He's great for a big man, but he's not the best player in college basketball.
Or Marvin Bagley.
I'll give you that. That's a good start in 5. I'm not saying that they not like great players, but we're talking about the best player in college basketball all around. And to me, that's like Trae Young is a great player. He's like if I gotta rank him, he's like 3. Jalen Brunson is or 2 because I said that Jalen Brunson and Colin Sexton to me are tied. So he's 2. And then 1A, and then there's 1A and 1B. 1B is Jalen Brunson because of what even you said. Like, he's the one that makes Villanova a great team. He has the consistent shot. He's the superstar. He's the leader of that team, right? Then there's Colin Sexton, who is the default leader. Right. They shoot well. Like, they both shoot more consistently. Here's what I'll say about that. Trae Young, like he's not a Steph Curry. Doesn't have that pure and consistent 3-point shot like Steph Curry does. Now, I'm not comparing Jalen Brunson and Colin Sexton to Steph Curry. They have a more consistent shot Now, when I say shot, I mean they make it more and it's wetter than Trae Young's. Trae Young's a great player, but he's not. He's got a lot of work to do when he gets to the NBA. Jalen Brunson, he's a finished product. That's because of Jay Wright and because he's a junior, right?
Say it again. Jay Wright.
Colin Sexton, he's playing with freaking Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson is his coach. That man's a complete product. Do you remember Avery Johnson, man?
I do remember Avery Johnson. He played on the. Didn't he play the Spurs?
Yep. Avery Johnson, the captain. I forget what his nickname was. He might have been the Little Admiral. Dog, that man can play. That man can play, and he knows his point guards, man. I'm telling you right now, Colin Sexton, he's probably going to be a top draft pick. He's probably going to leave. But he should stay and learn under Avery Johnson because outside of Jay Wright, he's got one of the best coaches and an NBA talent to learn from. And Colin Sexton, he's a finished product, and this is no knock on Trae Young's coach at Oklahoma. But come on now. Avery Johnson and Jay Wright. And both of their players are really, really good. And they're the two best players in college basketball. Like, y'all going to see tonight. When you see Alabama versus Virginia Tech, you just remember Colin Watson, at Colin W. Watson, Colin was right, told you that Colin Sexton is a player to watch in this tournament. And so is Jalen Brunson. There's a lot of point guards in this tournament that y'all going to be familiar with. But those are the two that you need to know because Trae Young is out now. Trae Young is out the tournament. They lost. Shouldn't have been there anyway. But it's Colin Sexton and it's Jalen Brunson. You can go ahead and respond. Go ahead.
Yeah, they out. I hear that. They don't play enough defense. That's why they out. And like you said, they should have never been there. They all about scoring, and when it should be more about a balanced game. Yeah, I want to see if you're right, Colin. I want to see if Colin Sexton is all you say he should be. Let me ask you this: do you think that Trae Young, or do you think when some of the top players in the NCAA right now, you should still stay in the NCAA, or should you go to the NBA?
I think if you need that money, go get it. I think if you need that money, then you should go to the NBA. I think if you don't, you should stay in college.
Who don't need money?
Well, listen. I think this, right? Let me tell you. Let's take it for example. I think now let's be real. In the NBA, you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time, right? Now,
yes, you can.
Not everybody's a Steph Curry, but I would just say this because Steph Curry and Jalen Brunson have very similar roads. Jalen Brunson's daddy was an NBA player, so was Steph Curry's, so he can afford to stay in college for this long. Right?
But Steph Curry wasn't Steph Curry when he first stepped in the league. He
right.
Steph Curry.
I'm getting there though. Here's what I'm saying, right? I think that you become a better and more polished player if you stay in college for 2 years. Now, but I also understand you strike while the pot is hot. So I feel like if you're a Trae Young, if you're a Colin Sexton, go ahead and leave if you feel you are a finished product. Now, I'll tell you the truth. I like Trae Young. I like his skills, and this is getting into the next question. But I think he needs another year of college. I think Colin Sexton also could benefit from another year of college because of who his coach is, Avery Johnson. Jalen Brunson, he's been there 3 years. He can leave now. He's been with Jay Wright. He's won the title his freshman year. He's developed as a player. I don't think he can get any higher than what he is now. I disagree
with you. I'm still so disappointed and NCAA taking all this money from these men, these young men, that's playing for them, making them billions of dollars. Like we talked about it before, they made $1 billion last year. It's no way in the world you should stay in and not get any benefit off of that. Don't sell me on that crap of free education and all that crap. It ain't free. You working, you going to practice, you watching film. It ain't nothing free. That's your blood, sweat, and tears. You earn every class you go to, every meal you eat. You earn all that. So listen, need I ever mention Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bryant wasn't a beast when he came in the league. He was good, but he came straight out of high school. Kevin Garnett. I mean, AI, he went to college, but he didn't even stay in long. I think he came out his sophomore year. You know, there's so many. I think it's a matter of the will. I don't care who it is. I think if you get in the league and you really focus on your game, listen to your coaches, you come to practice, you come early, you stay late, you study film, like you break down the game. Like when Phil Jackson broke down the game for Kobe, he said he had me sit and watch film, and I had to know everything that was going on. He said He said I thought I was just gonna watch my touches. He said no, I watch everybody touch. I watch the offense. I watch the defense. Like, and when you break down the game like that, you realize they get like this. Like Kobe said, the game slows down. Like, so stuff that used to happen at like lightning speed, now it's in like slow motion because you know it. Like, you know plays, you know players, you know tendencies. Like, and that's all it is. Like, so when you get in the league, you're gonna have to study your opponents. You're gonna have to study other teams. You're gonna have to study Golden State. You're gonna have to study LeBron. And if you know these guys, you know their tendencies, you know what plays they like to run. I think you got a better chance of winning. Now, are you gonna win all the time? Heck no, because you still got to go through the motions. You still got to actually be on the field and go through it in order to win. Like, you can't just win by watching film. Like, when you actually step on the field and really, you know, start playing with somebody, you're like, oh man, this is a different kind of animal. Now you getting you feeling all the strength, you feeling all the pressure. You hear the crowd, you hear the lights, and you're taking it all in at once. So once you get adjusted to that, then you start to win games. But it's gonna take a while.
I agree with you that, you know, they should pay these players, but like I said, like we've said on this podcast before, not this one, but like we said on the regular main podcast, numerous amounts of times, y'all can check that out on our YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Kyle Watson. You can also check out the shows. They should be the different shows. Our most recent shows and everything should be in the bottom of the screens and everything, or on the right side of the screen. But I'll say this, right? You know, like you said, Kobe didn't really start. He was a great player, but he didn't really start until he had the right coach. This is what I should mean. Everything is a situation. You don't have Phil Jacksons in the league anymore, right? Everything is situational, which is why I said they could benefit. I'm not saying he should stay, but what I will say is I believe that they can benefit from another year in college, because unlike Jalen Brunson, who's a junior, whose body has developed, who's been through the motions of a season, and who is a mostly finished product, Trae Young is not a finished product. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, they're the perfect basketball player and they won't change once they get into the NBA. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that, and we argued this last week about why they created the one and done law. The reason the one and done was created, as we went over, is because, you know, there were veterans and GMs that didn't want to waste the time that it took to develop these players. Now, listen, like this is the new NBA. This is the analytics NBA. This is you need to be able to shoot from in the parking lot NBA, right? So, you know, when you come into the NBA, you got to be able to shoot. Now, we just said that of those three players that we mentioned, Trae Young has the weakest shot in consistency.
Not if you Ben Simmons or Markel Fultz.
Right, right. But we're not talking about. We're not talking about. There's no athletic freaks in this year's college basketball class. Like, it takes you like 10. It takes you like 5 to 10 years to get another athletic freak in the mix. Like, Ben Simmons was a dime a dozen, just like Kobe Bryant, just like LeBron James. You don't have freaks in this year's class. Like, if you notice, all the players we talking about, Trae Young, Colin Sexton, and Jalen Brunson, are all prototypical point guards. Ain't none of them going to be giving you a highlight reel dunk. They're going to lay the ball up, beat you with their crossovers and their jump shots. There's no highlight reel players this year. There's no Ben Simmons in this year's class. There's no Markel Fultz in this year's class. But what we're talking about in 2018 in the NCAA is prototypical point guards. That's what we're talking about.
But I don't know if there's not a player, Zach LaVine, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or what's my man name from the Knicks? With the P, can't think of his name. Porzingis. You know what I'm trying to say. Those players came out of nowhere, and like they're freaks of nature. Like they're tall, they're long, they can handle the ball. I think there's always a few players that develop once they get into the league, and they show you their physical ability, their natural athletic ability, and able to dunk and to get boards, to get blocks, to take over a game. The Knicks didn't want Porzingis. I can't say his name. You know what I'm trying to say. But now they loving the kid. I think the same thing is going to happen with every draft class. I don't. Would it be outpouring a flow of all these players? No, but there will be a few. We can't never. We can't say what's going to happen. What we can say is there's nothing standing out right now. We can say that. Like we know what we see right now, but what we don't see, it's gonna be all the better because it's like, yo, where does this kid come from? And you're like, yo, y'all took a look at him, but he wasn't like when they took a look at Stephen Curry, like they did not rate him high at all. Like he got low marks on everything.
Right, but like I said, what we're talking about right now is the top players in college basketball. We're not talking about the Europe scene and everything else that's in the thing. Right now, I believe that we're in the era in the NBA where it's back to being is back the way the game is played. The game's evolved. Now we're back to more of a backcourt focused league. We're in a backcourt focused NBA again, where the shooting guard and the point guard matter. That's why the top three players that both of us mentioned are point guards. Like we said, DeAndre Ayton. We're not talking about DeAndre Ayton. We're not talking about the dude from. We're not talking about them right now. We're talking about the top three players in the NCAA right now, which are 3-point guards, basically. And that's the NBA we're in. We're in a guard-focused NBA right now. Like I've mentioned on this podcast, there's always a place for the athletic freaks, the Ben Simmonses, the Giannis Antetokounmpos, the Porzingises, the Kevin Durants. Obviously, this is Kevin Durant and LeBron James's league, right? It's their league right now. But it's getting to a point now where, like we said, LeBron is 35. It's not going to be his league much longer. Kevin Durant is about to be 30. It's not going to be his league much longer. Curry, the Curry league. That's the league we're in, right? but right now we're talking about point guards. You know, it is being compared to Trae Young, is being compared to Steph Curry. He's not Steph Curry with, you know. Move along to our next topic. Trae is transferred to the next level. Go ahead.
You said will Trae Young talents transfer to the next level? It if he continues to develop, yeah, it will transfer to the next level. But if he doesn't continue to become a better player, to work on his mid range game, to get better defensively, then it won't transfer. But if he just keeps shooting from where he's shooting from and that's all he focuses on, no, it won't transfer. Because in the NBA, you gotta learn. You gotta learn how to play organized basketball even better. Because there's a lot of street players that just wouldn't work in the NBA because those guys are, they're one man shows. But the NBA is all about a team game. Like you can play great as an individual all you want. You can't outscore a team. And they can trap you and put enough guys around you to where you won't be able to get shot off. Or they'll start playing you defensively. Every time you try to drive a lane, they'll get an offensive foul call because they'll stand in front of you and take the charge. So Trae Young has to develop better team skills. That's the only way his skills will transfer to the league. So he has to learn how to be a better defender, hands down. He has to learn how to get a mid-range jump shot because you're not going to be able to shoot threes all the time. Like those times where he goes cold, he's going to have to get a layup. And I've seen, he can get a layup, but he still can do better in that area. And he's gonna have to learn how to make his teammates better. Like he should really take notice of how Stephen Curry plays the game. How the great point guards that are playing right now play the game. Rajon Rondo, I'm trying to think who else. Ben Simmons. Even though he's not really a point guard, but he's like a point forward, I guess you would say. I don't know. He's so big. So it's kind of hard to put him in a point guard. But he has a natural talent to pass and just see a play before it happens. Just like LeBron does. So he should be studying those type guys. That's the only way his talents will transfer to the NBA. So yeah, as long as he develops.
I think it definitely will transfer to the next level, which is the NBA. But like Andre said, I feel like he has to stop being lazy. I feel like the reason why Oklahoma didn't start winning more games is because he didn't develop as a player. And what I mean by that is you should be in basketball. If you're not evolving as a player, then you're going to end up not being in the game anymore. Like basketball is a lot less forgiving than the NFL. Like a lot of people love the NFL. The reason a lot of people like the NFL is because the NFL is a fairly simple game. Like you have a team in the New England Patriots whose main focus and the main motto of the team is everybody do their job. You have one job, which is whatever position you play, right? In the NBA game is a lot more strategic. It's a lot more flowing. You have to be able to do more than one thing if you want to be a successful NBA player. You gotta be able to play defense. You gotta be able to score. You gotta be able to do a bunch of other things. You gotta be able to have a good personality. You gotta do a lot of things in the NBA. It's a lot more. It's a much more is required of you in basketball than it is in football, right? And like I said, with Trae Young, the reason why I think Oklahoma went as far as he could take him, right? And he didn't develop as a player. He didn't do typical point guard things. Like he's a very this is what I'll say about him. Even though he leads the league in assists and everything, he's a very he's very in that Carmelo Anthony mode, that isolation ball hog player. That's what he is. He's a it's like when people say Russell Westbrook ain't a ball hog, and I wonder do they watch the game? Because I really do. I wonder if you watch the game when somebody says Russell Westbrook is not a ball hog. He is. That's why Kevin Durant isn't there. It's not fun to play with ball hogs. Just ask the New York Knicks. Just ask the New York Knicks when Carmelo Anthony played for them. It's not fun to play with a ball hog. It's really not. So, Trae Young, he didn't make any of his players better. I know some people argue that because he led the league in assists, but so did Russell Westbrook, and I don't hear anybody saying Russell Westbrook is not a ball hog, right?
You got
But
that right.
but but like I said, uh Trae Young, he didn't develop as a player. Like in college basketball, just like the NBA, you got to develop as a player. And he didn't develop. He didn't make his teammates better. He didn't even in the game that they were playing today, he didn't. There were things he could have did when he was getting double teamed. He should have passed to the open guy. He didn't do that. He turned the ball over a lot. That's another thing. He turns the ball over too much. And I know as a 76ers fan, that's rich coming from me. But listen, I appreciate good basketball. I really do. I appreciate basketball where you don't turn the ball over every 5 seconds. You know, that's why Russell Westbrook. If somebody asks me, is it in my top three, top four players? He turns the ball over too much for me. You know, but some people disagree. Um, you know, but Trae Young for me didn't develop. He's got to develop. He's got to like Andre said. Andre basically took all the good points. He's got to have a mid range shot. He's got to be able to pass the ball. He's got to be able to understand that teams, like Andre said, teams that are, if you're a Carmelo Anthony style basketball player, you got to adjust. You're not going to be the ball hog. This is an isolation ball. You're not going to be ISO Trae. It's not going to work. You're going to have to be able to play freely with the basketball. You got to move without the ball. You got to be able to cut. You got to be able to understand that sometimes other people got to have the basketball. And if you don't develop Trae Young, you're not going to be a good NBA player. So moving right along. All right, Andre. Whoever win this title have to vacate it immediately after the FBI investigation.
I hope not. I really, the fan of me says no, but the realistic side of me, and you know this, Colin. Shoot, you have to be blind to not notice in my sports that it's just to know the amount of pressure these young kids are under to win games, to be good. Like it's just so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes. We hear the stories, we see the news reports, we read the articles. So the realistic side of me says yes, they're gonna have to vacate the title if they do their full investigation. If the NCAA don't involve themselves some way and say, nah, listen, don't do that to them because that's a bad light on us. That jeopardizes our TV deals, our sales. And sales is good for everybody because everybody's profiting off it. The government's profiting off of it. The schools are profiting off of it. The students are getting better facilities, better. I don't know. So I hope, as a fan it doesn't. But if someone's hurting, and usually there is somebody hurting because of what's going on behind the scenes with these organizations and how stuff is getting swept under the rug, then it definitely needs to come out. But we'll see. We'll see. I know it's gonna be surprising, but not surprising. If that makes sense, because we always know there's a scandal, but they just not letting us know all the details. And then sometimes, like, it's funny, like to who they pick to send to jail when the scandal comes out. You'd be like, that guy was just doing what he was told. Like the top guys should be the ones going, but that never happens. The top guys get to resign and keep their money and do whatever. But the guy who was doing what he was told, now he's the one that got all the light on him, and now he's the one has to deal with all this nonsense.
I'm gonna be realistic, and the pessimism is gonna come back at me. I believe that whoever wins this tournament will probably most likely have to vacate the title just because of who we both said are all in our final fours. I mean, listen, our final fours consist of a lot of teams that are under investigation. Both of our final fours have UNC in it. We know they've been mentioning it. I'm sure our Sweet 16s and Elite Eights, Duke is in there somewhere. Kansas is in there. There's a lot of. It'd be better for the NCAA if they had a championship game that consisted of two teams that are not associated with this investigation anyway yet, which would be Villanova and Virginia, or a combination of those teams, if not both of them. That's what they're gonna need. So hopefully, my championship game comes true and it's Villanova, Virginia. And that's the only way it's going to be. Those are probably the only two teams in this whole tournament that won't have to vacate the title if they win it. But if any other team wins, like if it's a Duke, a UNC, or a Kansas, they might have to vacate that joint. Even though UNC won last year and didn't have to vacate the title, and I think last year was way more egregious than this year because last year was cheating on tests and not doing what they were supposed to do as far as other people taking tests for them and everything. That was way more egregious, and they still kept their title. So, you know, who knows? I mean, as long as you don't have Rick Pitino as your coach, it seems like you can get away with anything. As long as you don't have Rick Pitino and God, Penn State coach. And what's his name as the and Joe Paterno as your coach, it seems like you'll be all right. So I really do want to. My apologies to Penn State. I'm sorry for that one, but there is just certain
You
things
forget where
that
you come from.
there are certain things that it seems like the NCAA will allow you to get away with as long as you have the right coach. So that's what I'm going to say on that. And the NCAA, hopefully, like I said, it'll be Virginia or Villanova hoisting the title, and they won't have to vacate their wins. But if it's not any of those two teams, that those teams, the whichever one won will probably have to have their banner brought down, just like Louisville. All right, moving right along to our last question of the night. So, Dre, do you think the NCAA was right to exclude most of the teams connected with the probe from the tournament? Go ahead.
No, I think they was wrong for doing that. And why I say that is because NCAA knew what was going on with those teams and those organizations. So for them to pick on those teams is not fair. And then the other teams just, let them go. But I think it would have shown well, and I get where they're coming from. Like we gotta make it look good, but we all know they knew. Like, it's no way in the world, as powerful as the NCAA is, they didn't know about this stuff going on. So, they're just as guilty to me as those teams that they kept out. So I don't think it was the right. I mean, it looks like the right thing to do, but I still don't think it was the right thing to do Because it's like just like I was talking about just a minute ago. It's like you pushing blame off on somebody else when like you can't. It's almost like if you were doing stuff in your household, you and your brothers, your dad's got to know something about it. He knows his children, and the NCAA is the dad, and the teams are the children. Dad knows what's going on in the house, even if he's not there all the time. He knows his children. He know they're gonna get in trouble, and if he doesn't keep a certain eye on them, that things are going out of order. So the same is true with these teams. So when the kids are getting in trouble, dad's in trouble. Because guess who's responsible for the kids? Dad. So the same thing is true for the NCAA. They should be just as much trouble as the teams were. They got put out, or they chose to not let in March Madness.
Oh man, I hate to do this, but Andre gonna think I'm crazy. We're gonna have a whole in the show argument about it. But I feel the NCAA, unfortunately, and I hate saying this because everybody knows how anti NCAA I am, but I feel the NCAA, and it's hard for me to even say it. I feel like the NCAA was right to exclude these teams, and the two teams we're talking about is USC and Louisville. Let's get this clear because the other three teams are in the Kansas, Duke, and UNC. So we're only talking about Louisville and USC here now. And here's why I say that. Because for real, you know, it should never have come down to that. Like if Louisville had a better record and if USC had a better record, then Oklahoma wouldn't be in there right now. If Louisville didn't choke against Virginia, if USC had a better record in the Pac-12 and actually won those games and went further in the tournament, in the Pac-12 tournament, I'm gonna be that guy, man. As Herm Edwards said you play to win the games, and you know what? Unfortunately, the decision was easy for the NCAA because after you saw what Louisville and USC did over these past couple of weeks, I feel like you had no choice but to exclude them because I didn't watch the Pac-12 tournament because the Pac-12 tournament come on basically when it's time for us to go to bed. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock, especially if you work. Like, we don't really get a chance to watch them because they play in California, Oregon, and Washington State. But USC should have definitely done better in the Pac-12 tournament. Louisville should have done better in the ACC tournament. Now, I'm not going to be naive and say that, one of the reasons that they're not in the tournament right now and they're in the NIT is not because they're two of the teams most associated with the FBI probe. That's obviously one of the reasons why they're not there, why they're not playing right now. But I think the main reason they're not playing right now is because their records said they shouldn't be there. And like I said, I don't want nobody to think I'm being unequal because both Andre and I did say that Oklahoma didn't deserve to be in there either, right? So, but if you're choosing Trae Young or awkward conversations about an FBI investigation while the game's going on, and the NCAA chose wisely, and they chose what the record said they should choose. I mean, like I said, Louisville was 18-11. I think USC was like 20-11. So, like I said, the decision was easy for the NCAA. Like their record says they shouldn't be there, and they're not there. Now, like I said, do I agree with it? No, I definitely think it's wrong, but I think they were right to be able in the question that we asked. I think they were right to exclude them because both of their records said they should be excluded. So, you know, go ahead and get back in here, Andre. Tell me why I'm wrong. Go ahead.
You wrong because you know the NCAA knew what was going on with those schools. Tell me they didn't know.
Although, listen, I don't disagree with you that they did. They knew, but I'm just saying that this is what I'm saying, right? I'm saying that Louisville and USC made it easy on them because, like I said, Louisville had an 18-11 record, USC had a 20-11 record, and you got to at least win 21 to 22 games to be in the tournament. Now, like I said, I do know that they beat their own logic by putting Oklahoma in, and we already destroyed them for that. But I'm just saying that just because they knew doesn't exclude the fact that, like I said, you play to win the games, you play the games on your schedule, and Louisville and USC didn't do enough to be in the championship game. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I don't disagree with you on this. I don't disagree with you on the fact that they definitely didn't win enough games to get in. And like you said, you win like you gotta win games. It's just that simple. But I don't know. I just still feel like they just picking on them and like they like they should hold themselves to a higher standard instead of trying to hold the school to a higher standard. Do something. I don't know. It's, I don't know what you gotta do, but I think you should have did something else.
No, and I don't disagree with you. I definitely think that they should hold themselves to a higher standard, but in order to do that, that would require them to pay the players and require them to do a lot of soul searching and require some ratings going down. It gets back to what we talked about last week when we talked about, you and I and the rest of the college basketball fans being at fault because we're the ones saying y'all should pay the players, but yet we still watch every March in April. So, like I said, it's going to take a shift of seismic proportions to get them to change their minds. Otherwise, they're going to keep being able to do this. And, I'm with you. I don't think they're playing politics, but this is where we are. They're playing politics. So,
I won't watch it. I won't watch it if they allow the players to get paid. I'll take a stand right now.
Yes, it's too late. It's too late for me, dog. I can't. These moral stands. I can't due to what I do with sports reporting. I gotta watch the game. But y'all go ahead and take y'all stand. And everything. I'm all for it. But
Thank you. All right, thank you for letting us know, President Trump.
stop playing, man. Listen, I definitely think that there can be some things done. But as far as like I said, they made it easy for them by, you know, not winning their games. And, I just feel like the NCAA, like I said, I don't disagree. I think that they are totally wrong to exclude Louisville and USC. But like I said, they made it easy on them to exclude them because they didn't win. They didn't play to win their games. They lost a lot of games. They didn't do what they needed to do. So, to me, in the way this question is worded, I feel they were right to do it, even though morally it is wrong and reprehensible. That, like you said, the NCAA doesn't reflect and do what they need to do. But yeah, so let's get to before we finish off and keep arguing. Let's get to what the people came here for. So far, y'all might have y'all brackets messed up again because it looks like Texas Tech is trying to lose this game because they're down by one to Stephen F. Austin. Kentucky just won. Congratulations to you, Kentucky fans. People who picked Kentucky over Davidson. Houston is up by 7. And then the game that Andre, I know, will be paying attention to, this Alabama Virginia Tech game to see if I'm right and Colin Sexton is the man. That comes on in 6 minutes. So we're gonna finish wrapping this up so we can get to the games. But like I said, and I'm gonna let Andre have 1 more minute to respond, and then I'll close it out, and then we'll get back to the games. But yeah, we have a bracket challenge before he goes. Right now, Matt's winning. I'm a little salty about that, but we still got 2 more weeks to go. So yeah, check out the brackets. It's a crossover sports podcast bracket. Obviously, you can't get in on it now because the tournament's going on. But check out our picks. So go there. I know I'm on there. I think Andre's there. I got a bunch of friends in there. Courtney's on there. Kennan's on there. I'm on there. Trey's on there. Matt's on there. Check out our picks. Check out if you agree. Hit us up at Colin W. Watson, at _ Andre Terry. Go ahead, Andre, respond so we can get on out of here.
Well, y'all heard it here. Maybe not first, but Villanova's going to win this thing, man. Despite what Colin says, trust and believe the Wildcats. Shall I say it again? The Wildcats are going to come through and pull this thing out. They're going to find a way. They're going to hit those threes they need to hit. They're not going to hit all their threes. That's just unrealistic. But they're going to hit the threes they need to hit. When the game's on the line, they're going to pull this thing through. We're going to have another parade down Broad Street, man. You know why? Because we're the city of champions right now. That's why. You come here, man, it's a special vibe in the city. It's just that feeling. And Villanova cannot let us down right now. We riding this wave with them. So I'm just excited to see it. I'm excited to see Virginia get knocked out to prove Colin wrong. It's always good to prove your friends wrong. Look at them and say, "Oh, what happens to your number 1 team, huh? Oh, okay, all right." But I just can't wait. So we're gonna wrap this up. Can't wait to watch this game. Tune in tonight, because we're gonna see what Virginia really made of. Colin's saying, well, he's saying,
I'll just say this in response. There's a reason why #Colin was right is something that trends on this podcast, because most of the time when it comes to sports, I don't usually get it wrong. But you know what? I hope Villanova doesn't get an early weekend exit come Sunday. I hope you Villanova fans, and I count myself as one of them, but I'm a realistic Nova fan. But I hope they win for y'all, so y'all don't be depressed on my Facebook and Twitter talking about how bad y'all are, like y'all couldn't see this coming. But I hope they make it to the Final Four. Like I said, in one of my brackets, I have Villanova winning the championship. And another one, I have Virginia. So, but I'm telling y'all right now, y'all better watch out for the Virginia Cavaliers. Y'all better watch out for them Virginia Cavaliers. They're the best number 1 seed. They're the overall number 1 seed. Like I said, they play both sides of the basketball. Watch them. You will not see that is perfect basketball. When you see Virginia play, you're going to see perfect basketball. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all gonna see perfect basketball tomorrow. Y'all just wait and see. Y'all gonna get on there. I get on the pictures.
Perfect basketball.
Listen, y'all gonna get on Twitter and on Facebook and hit me up and be like, Kyler was right again. Virginia plays perfect basketball. Even though Audrey just says no such thing as perfect basketball. All right, fine. They play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and on both sides of the court.
There you go.
And it's just gonna be a great sight. like I said, I hope I get my Virginia Villanova game or my UNC Villanova game. Doesn't really matter as long as one of the teams that I pick in the Final Four make it and one wins the title. That's all I need. And as long as it's Virginia and Villanova, I'm very happy. So I'm gonna wrap it up like that. Pay attention to the games. Watch Colin Sexton. There's a bunch of players that y'all gonna hear about that y'all haven't heard about. Watch the games. Pay attention. Y'all might be seeing the future of the NBA. Yeah, so that's it. That's our March Madness special. Like I said, we're gonna try and do this whenever there's a special sporting event. We've done it for the Super Bowl. We're gonna do it for the draft. We're gonna do it for a lot of these things, man. Y'all gonna be really happy with the content we got coming in 2018, man. You know, it's gonna be a hot year for us. Like I said, March Madness. We have a March Madness bracket, crossover sports podcast bracket. Check that out. Obviously, y'all can't join it right now because the games are going on. But check out our picks. Hold us accountable. Like I said, at Kyler W. Watson, at _Andre Terry. Check us out. You'll see the links below this video. The things that I write for. WatsonSportsTakes.com. That's the main one. FlurrySports.org. WildfireSportsRadio.com. And Philly Christian Voice. So definitely check out all those sites. Your support is definitely necessary. Share, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely do that. Keep the channel growing. Keep the podcast growing. Like I said, we're good. I feel we're a really great podcast, and I believe y'all should share this with y'all friends. Get the Philly perspective, the unbiased Philly perspective. Andre, you go ahead and talk about what you're doing, and we can get on out of here because the game has started. Go ahead and share your stuff, your social media. We'll get on out of here.
Yeah, so I'm at like Colin said, _Andre Terry. Now I'm mostly promoting a lot of stuff from our church. So I'm always promoting something good, positive in the community that you can do, whether it's like we got our Easter play coming up. Come check that out. I'm in it, and it's gonna be really funny, but also really thoughtful, and it's gonna make you think. Like the characters, the way they're acting in their lives, the questions they have to ask themselves, and the challenges they get as they're going through the play. I'm sure you can relate to it. So you got to come out March 25th at 6 p.m. at Christian Stronghold Baptist Church. It's going to be a great play, a lot of fun. And, I'm mainly on social media doing stuff about Stronghold because I'm a leader of the social media ministry. So if you ever see me, you always see like something Stronghold. So I'm Team Stronghold. Let's go. But I'm excited about this game tonight. Y'all can also catch me on Instagram too at Dre Terry. That's my name on Instagram. But thank you for having me. It's been a great. I can't wait to. It's been a great podcast tonight. I can't wait to talk on Saturday more about the teams and the games and what happens tonight. So y'all have a good night and take care.
Just remember, y'all, what's going to happen tonight is hashtag Howard was right. When y'all see this Alabama Virginia Tech game,
be quiet.
And y'all see Colin Sexton at Colin W. Watson on Twitter. You already know, coming to you with the realest sports articles on the internet. Andre can let you know. Listen. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I am humble, but sometimes sometimes you gotta encourage yourself, man. But the best sports articles on the internet, like I said, WatsonSportsTakes.com, FlurrySports.org, WildfireSportsRadio.com, and Philly Christian Voice, man, for all your needs. And I think y'all gonna be real happy, like I said, with the content between this channel and the stuff that's already established. that's coming through. Y'all gonna be real happy, man. So yeah, definitely check us out. Support your black creatives. We're all doing something creatively, man. Support your black creatives, and everything else, man. Like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for listening. We out of here. Enjoy March Madness. Enjoy the first and second round of March Madness. Deuces, y'all. See y'all Saturday.